Welcome back to Proxy, everybody. And today I have something special to share with you guys. We have found one of the best artists we possibly could for the Eldar Knight Codex project, which, by the way, exceeded the goal that I had set for it, and it is looking strong. So here I have today Argonaus, who is a avid artist and who has recently started painting some beautiful Eldari art in the style of the old codexes. How you doing today, Argonaus?
Well, I'm doing very good, thank you. A bit nervous about your introduction because you said I could maybe be one of the best artists for the project, and that's quite a title. So I'll have to work as hard as I can to be worthy of that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, based on some of the stuff that I've already seen you do, I would say that you are probably the best artist that we could have possibly gotten for this project. It's actually funny because I was, originally when I was looking for somebody to do this, I was thinking that I would get somebody to do maybe, something similar or something, maybe um, in the modern, sense of art for the codex, but this is just far and
Mhm.
above, way better than anything I could have expected. So thank you for reaching out to me and really making this happen. I appreciate it.
Well, actually, let's be a little bit precise. We both met thanks to one of your backers who told me about the project on Reddit. And I don't have his username, but maybe we can find it later. But it's thanks to this particular backer that we met, we talked, and I think we will be able to make some great things together.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny because, you were talking to me about, not really being able to, reach the wider Eldari community with some of your art. And then, something like this happens where somebody, connects
Mm.
us and, it's destined, it's a strand of fate, so to
Yeah, I
speak.
I was going to say that it's fate, man. It's fate.
Very Eldari. So hey, we reached the goal for the codex, and I'm so happy to have you as an artist. Let's take a look at some of your work, and maybe you can let us know some of the inspirations behind this,
Yeah.
because as some of the viewers might recognize from this art, it does have a very old feel from the early days of second
Mm,
edition Warhammer
mm.
40K. So what were your inspirations for making some of these?
Well, my first and most important inspiration, of course, is John Blanche. It's thanks to his artworks that I got into 40K in the first place. I think one of the first artwork I ever seen of John Blanche was actually the Emperor of the Golden Throne, the absolute iconic image of 40K, you know. But it was such a different art style, such a different thing that I was used to see back then. I was 14 at the time. That it just stuck with me. So I started for my 40K journey with the two empires. I also dabbled a little bit with Eldar in the fourth edition, I think.
Hmm.
And then I went into Space Marine, but I always have been inspired by that very messy, very characteristic art style of John Blanche, and later a bit cleaner art style of more recent artists. They are all very good, of course, but John Blanche really managed to did something so specific that when you look at a drawing, you know instantly it's from him. And I draw a lot of 40K, more or less inspired also by the technical drawing of Leonard da Vinci. I think people know me more for my Space Marines technical drawing, their power armor, their weapons. But I decided to re-embrace my love of John Blanche works and really try to emulate what he did. So that's why I decided draw a faction I never quite really drew before, the Eldars. And it turns out that the more I was able to draw them in the style of John Blanche, the more I fell in love with the faction. So right now I'm in my proud Eldari phase, and I don't want to leave it. I just want to spam it until I get absolutely exhausted of it.
Well, hopefully that's never, because honestly, the artwork looks great. And, when I was about 14 years old as well, a little bit younger,
Mm,
but, around that age, I also was very inspired by the artwork that he had created. And I
mm,
remember picking up a third edition rule book, and you have that
yeah,
iconic, in the third edition, I believe you had that iconic artwork of the Emperor that you were talking about. And
yeah.
just amazing, honestly, very cool. One of the things
Mm,
that really drew me into 40K was that style of art, and it was all over the place back then when I started. A lot of players nowadays won't know who he is, but he's inspired a lot of the grim darkness of 40K, and just in that kind of art style. So we have a couple of kind of Eldar inspired art pieces of art here of different wraith constructs. We also have something in the style that you also mentioned a little bit earlier with the kind of armory-esque type
yeah.
sketches. So we have Baharoth here, which is really cool. This looks like very much of that time period, second, third edition, when you had a
Mm,
lot of artwork with this style.
mm.
Um, and it looks great, honestly. And it almost, brought a tear to my eye because I remember looking at some of the Eldari ones that, had been done at the time back then, and it just brought me back. So I really love this. It looks very
It's
much of the time.
yeah, I get the same, and I'm really happy that he can bring such feeling when you look at it. Um, I feel a deep sense of nostalgia about the old Warhammer, not just the art style, but the ambience. It was really more real, more grimy back then. And what I'm really trying to do with my art style is to dive back in this nostalgia, explore it once more, and go further. Make something both new and nostalgic, you know. And I think with this art style, so we are looking at the at Barwot right now. I really managed to find something a bit unique. I draw everything on traditional media, so this is watercolor, inks, pencil, or on papers. The paper is white, but it gets this color because I dropped some coffee on it.
Hmm.
And the material itself makes the artwork real. I don't think I could achieve such realness, such nostalgia with the digital media. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, that's the tool all artists use today for the recent codex. And the older codex and rulebook, John Blanche did all of his artwork by hand. It's all ink on paper, then digitalized. So that's also the reason why I'm sticking to my papers, my ink, and my paint. I really want to get back in this nostalgia and get back to it with people who miss this era in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say that, I think a lot of and I don't want to say this about all digital art, but I think some of the emotion is definitely taken out of the artwork when it's being done like that. For example, I know a lot of people, like the new Eldari art in the codex, but to me, it just doesn't have the same level of emotional appeal that something like this has,
Mm,
because you can tell the artist, use their hands to create it. And I think
mm.
that's something that's being lost in this day and age. And, nothing against the artists that did the artwork for the Elder Codex. I think it looks good. But, this is definitely, I think, has more soul in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I understand. I think what's at play here, it's us as more older Warhammer enjoyers. We got introduced to the universe by the old art style. So when we see the evolution of the art style and where it got today, we feel a bit left behind, a bit nostalgic, of course. But newer players that don't know about John Blanche, I think for them, the newer art style is really good. For me, it just feel a bit too clean since I knew the old Warhammer style. But like you said, nothing against the artists. I think things just evolve, and in this case, Games Workshop choose a cleaner art direction. So it's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, this kind of goes perfect with Eldar Knights because Eldar Knights, as you know, some of you guys know from way back, was an abandoned GW project or abandoned GW faction
Mm.
that used this kind of art style with a lot of their, depictions and stuff like that back in the day. So here's another one that I really liked: the Warp Spider
Yeah.
construct, which
So
looks
to
really
give
cool.
to give you a bit of context about this Wraith Lord series, I was thinking about concept. I think about concepts a lot and how to create something new, but who can fit in the official lore of 40K. That's what I really love to do. I love to craft new things, but things that are believable and can fit in the new lore. I play a lot of RPG with my friends, the tabletop RPG, like Deathwatch, Dark Crusade, this kind of stuff. And unique enemies like this are the things my game master love to put us against. So in a way, to make an homage to what they are able to craft for our games, and also to explore a believable concept, I choose to develop the Wraith Lord platform, because when you think about it, what's stopping the Eldari to create specialized Wraith Lord, like there is specialized Dreadnought or specialized Exo-Armor for the Two Empire, to support their elite warriors. So in this case, I think that's the second one I did for this series. I just ask myself, well, if we crank up the War Spider concept to 11 and put it in a Wraith Lord platform, what could come up of it? And this is what emerged.
Yeah, I think that's really cool and good point. I think the Eldari would possibly create something like this as well. I think
Yeah.
it's obviously not in the official canon for GW, but it looks
But it's
awesome.
possible.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. It is possible. They can pretty much create anything they want to. That's kind of the
Mm.
Eldari thing, is that they can, shape the Wraithbone in any shape they wish. But
Yeah.
what's really cool about this as well is that a lot of people in the community have actually created, because of the inspirations from the aspect warrior based wraith lords that
Mm.
they use on the tabletop, either through conversions or in some cases STL bits and stuff like that. I've seen some works that are pretty cool. And it's funny because this really reminds me of some of the old things that I would think about as a kid, as far as the warp spiders and like different kind of warp spider wraith creations. Like,
Yeah.
gosh, I can't remember how long ago it was, but in second edition, I remember there was a wraith assassin model. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, they had a wraith assassin model that was a kind of melee wraith, and it looked a little different. And they actually had a lot more variety when it came to different Eldar models back in second
Huh.
edition
Huh.
that they later
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know
discontinued.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that looks, it kind of gave me that vibe, which is really cool. So I
See,
really like this.
I really love like what you're saying here, because this artwork make arise a feeling from your childhood. So that's the first thing I really love about it. And the second thing I love is the fact that it's almost an archaeological way of doing things because, like you said, in the really old codex, we have models, minis that don't exist anymore. So this could be a good way to bring them back to life, doing a bit of artistical necromancy, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely, dude. And that's another reason why I'm so happy that you've chosen to kind of represent this codex, this fandex, I should say, for the Eldar Knights, because it's exactly that same thing, right? A lot of people really
Mm.
fell in love with the idea of Eldar Knights back in the day, and then GW kind of trashed the IP with the loss of the Epic game, the Warhammer
Yeah.
40K Epic. So we've never seen it since. We've never seen a mention of it in the lore or anything like that. They've kind of just for lack of a better term, squatted it. If you remember the old squats,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's cool to see these things back, absolutely, and to be able to, in my case, write rules for it, and in your case, bring it to life with your artwork
Yeah.
is really really cool. So yeah,
I have to say I'm really impressed by the technical knowledge you have of the game to be able to write balanced rule. And if you have the time someday, if you're interested, feel free to write the rules for my Wayflows, you know?
oh, that would be awesome. I will absolutely do that. And then I believe we also have some members of the Discord who are pretty handy with STL files, who could
Yeah,
actually, make 3D prints of some of these things as well, which would be really cool. So,
that would be amazing, man.
yeah.
Imagine if the Codex project got managed to go really far. We could have a proper codex with proper rules, with proper arts, and also like the real old codex, some pages with photos of the printed mini painted and put in action like we had in the old codexes. That could be so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm imagining that it'll be just an absolute work of art. And I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, I may be just speaking out of my love for the Eldari, but I think this would be something that's really popular in the Eldar community, and it's what a lot of players I think have been asking for. I mean, it's funny because the other day actually somebody in the Discord posted something about the Eldar sketchbook that was in limited availability, and not a lot of people
Mm.
have it. So it's kind of like this, almost like legendary kind of thing in the Eldari community. If something pops up on eBay, Eldar sketchbook, and it's always going for insane amounts. But I
Yeah,
think
it's like the Imperial Primer, you know?
right. Oh yeah, exactly. I remember my buddy had one of those way back in the day, and he carried it around like a Bible.
Damn.
He bought a book cover for it and everything. He carried it to every single game. He would start every game by opening it up, and he was an Imperial Guard player, so of course,
Of course. Of
he would
course, of
read
course.
from it, and then I would proceed to smash him with the Eldari, uh,
As you do,
as you do,
as
as
one
the
does.
superior Xenos faction does. But yeah, absolutely, really, a really cool thing that we got going on here, and I think that would be awesome for the Eldar community to have access to.
Yeah.
Um, let's take a look at some of your other work, a few other pieces of
Mm.
work. So we have the Crushing Shadow. We saw this before, but this is the full image of it. This is the Striking
Mm.
Scorpion
Yeah.
Wraith construct. So obviously the inspiration behind this is Striking Scorpions, but namely it looks like Karandras, right? Um,
Yes.
what's cool about this is this actually reminds me of a modified version of the old Wraith Lords that were available in third edition. So for those of you guys who don't know and who are looking at the current Wraith Lord as like a really old model, actually that is the new Wraith Lord. The old Wraith
Oh, yeah.
Lord was a metal model that looked very similar to this, but of course this is a much more specialized version of it, and visually a striking scorpion, kind of based wraith construct. So tell me a little bit about this, because I really love what's going on with the colors and stuff like that. Um, how was
So
this
yeah,
to paint?
there is quite a bit of thing to unpack here. First thing about the colors. It turns out that this artwork was the second or third one I tried to did in the style of John Blush. So that's my third artwork trying to emulate John Blanche. And right from there, I already got some pretty valuable advice from Reddit who told me about the color use of John Blanche. To be a bit more specific, John Blanche mainly used for his sketch work a palette of colors that's called the Zorn palette. And the Zorn palette is only composed of four colors. So you have a specific hue of yellow, cadmium red, black and white. And just with these colors, you are supposed to be able to make your artwork. So I cheated a little bit by adding a drop of green on the artwork. But if you look really closely, the ray flood is actually not green, but yellow, and it appears green because I added some semi-opaque white highlight, and because it's on a pink red background. So this is the subtlety of the Zorn palette, that you have only four colors, but it deceives the eyes, so you see pretty much the entire color wheel.
Yeah.
And that's very Blanche things to do. A second thing that's very important for this artwork, and you can see on in the image, that's the right part, the text, the lore. I never go on a personal 40K work without having a solid lore concept. I imagine the life, the personality of the Eldar before he died, and his soul stone was put inside this wave lord. And if you're interested, this very niche specific lore video I'll put on YouTube. So to give you a brief summary, the Aeldari that's actually piloting this wave lord was turning into a murderer that enjoyed breaking the bones of his victim. And since he's an Eldari, he derives a lot of sensation, a pleasure from very specific and weird things. And to him, breaking bones of creature, animals, or carapace of insects was music to his ear. So that's why I equipped his Wayflood with these two massive claws. That's because he loves to crush things. And all my artwork have this kind of specific lore details about them. And this one is simply an Eldari that was about to commit a murder on another Eldari. He realized what he had become, and he died as a scorpion, if I remember correctly. And since his soul was so sick, he couldn't be put back in the infinity circuits. So people just decided to trap him in this rave platform and give him the correct body so he could exact his sick desires on the enemy of the craft world.
You know what's crazy about this, and why I kind of laughed a little bit earlier as well, is because this reminds me of some of the old Eldari lore that we got back then. And by the way, to anybody watching, they used to not really be called Eldari; they were the Eldar, right? So like a lot of
Yeah.
old Eldar lore had the Eldar kind of shown as these, kind of almost in some cases masochist kind of creatures that would enjoy killing.
Mm.
But of course,
Mm.
this was from the Imperial perspective, and the Eldari mind can easily go down a dark path in some cases because of how psychically attuned they are and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
this is really cool. Definitely reminds me of something that I would have seen back then. Nowadays, it seems like a lot of the lore is not as gritty as this, and I
Mm.
really enjoy it. when you were talking about how he enjoyed crushing the bones of his enemies, I kind of had this like flashback to like my experience playing Dark Souls 1 when I was if you, you know, I was
Yeah.
thinking of like a smo, like an Eldari smo or something like that, you know, just like
Mm.
just wants to crush his opponents into bones. That's great, man. That's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
Really cool.
I realized that starting doing Eldaris, that you could really go in depth in psychological detail like that. You couldn't explore with more human fiction. For example, if you'd like to go back to the War Spider Wraithlord, this particular Eldar was initially a coward. He was always afraid of dying because he knew that even if he have a soul stone, a Slanesh could catch him, so he would spend his life hiding. And when he was hiding inside the physical structure of the Infinity Circuit, tending to the war spiders, but the animals, you know, the little spiders defending the crystalline matrix of the Infinity Circuits.
Hmm.
And there he got found by an exarch that looked straight at him and told him, "I knew why you're here. You're here because you're scared, so you'll come with me, become a war spider, and never be scared anymore." Because if you know a bit more about warp spiders, sorry, they are described as being the most daring, the most courageous aspect because they go through the warp to make their jump and go to position from position. So he went from being a coward to be a war spider, the most daring aspect.
Wow. That's beautiful, dude. That is a
Yeah, thank you.
beautiful piece of lore. Yeah, that's great, man. Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. I love that. Super cool. So, you know, you have these really awesome pieces of lore for these different constructs, and you also have, you know, the beautiful art that goes along with it.
Mm.
I'm wondering, so you have another one here, and of course this is based off of a Dire Avenger, right? The Dire Avenger
Yeah.
Wraith construct. Um, Obviously the inspiration here is the Dire Avenger, but what's his story?
You'll have to give me like 5 seconds so I can upload the image. I create them so fast that sometimes the lore got lost on myself. So
Yeah,
you have to find back for just a
no
moment.
worries. I mean,
It
as we
should
know,
be.
even Gav Thorpe, who wrote a lot of the early lore, forgets his own lore.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you know, it makes
Um,
sense.
Ah, yes, yes. So, well, this one is kind of is a bit funny. It was an Aldari female that was obsessed by arithmetic and mathematics to the point where it was borderline. And she wasn't able to enjoy anything else that the preciseness of math, of numbers. And one day, she stumbled upon a Dire Avenger shrine where the warriors were training, and she noticed that their war choreography was so precise that she could read into it like it was an equation.
Oh,
And so
cool.
she just liked the fact that the Dire Avenger shrine was something so strict, so elite. She just fell in love with the arithmetic aspect of leading a charge, leading a war, knowing where the enemy line would break and how to maximize your attack and your defense.
Wow, that's
And
also
if
really amazing.
if I remember correctly, I think she died against Tyranids or Orcs. And same things, the temple, the shrine where she trained, put her soul stones into a wraith platform, so she can still maximize a potential of a good charge, of a good defense. And since she became a wraith lord, the world became very dull around her, so her perception of the physical world dropped a notch. But in a way, everything became more clear. You know, it's like when someone become blind, he hears everything better. It was the same thing about the flow of battle. She couldn't see the physical world anymore, but she could feel the tide of line and war.
Wow. That's really cool, dude. I love that.
Thank you, man. Thank you,
You know
thank
what
you.
I love about it the most, I think, is that every single story has been completely different and unique, you know?
Yeah,
And I
I try
feel
my best to really to go for unique concepts that the current lore don't touch upon. It's too clean. It doesn't go into this kind of weird detail, and I love weird details like that.
right. Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say just that is that the current lore is not dirty enough, you know? It's not
Yeah, yeah.
gritty enough. I love that. That's really cool. Really
Mm.
awesome. Yeah, so amazing work, dude. I just want to say once again, amazing work. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put so by the way, for all of you guys out there who are wondering where you can see this stuff, Argonaus has a YouTube channel which I will link in the description. I will also put the links for his art collection as well as a few other things like I think your I can't remember what page it's called, but can you help me out here with this
Yeah.
one? It's the page where you can
Uh,
view the gallery. The
oh yeah. It's Buy Me a Coffee.
that's what it's called. Yeah, buy me a coffee. He has all of his art there. I'll give you the link to that, and I'll put all that in the description. And we he'd really appreciate your support because this is something that is close to his heart, and it's now becoming close to my heart. I feel like I'm like I'm wrapped up
Thank
in
you.
this now.
Thank
Yeah,
you, man.
absolutely.
Thank you.
And his artwork is touched me, and I think it'll also give a lot of players some really cool inspirations of their own. So yeah, if you want to check out his channel, give him some support. Sub to his channel, like his videos; they're really cool. He'll probably have more content coming as well as his art develops.
Yeah.
And like I said
Uh,
before, he's also going to be working with me on the Eldar Knights Codex and putting some of the art in that as well. So yeah,
So just a little disclaimer about my YouTube channel. For now, it's just a YouTube channel that explores the lore I talked about for this Wavelord. And since I'm starting YouTube, I'm really trying to figure out how it works. So for now, the voiceover for this lore video is made by AI. So if you don't recognize my current voice in this video, it's normal. But as soon as I'll manage to gather a community on this channel, I'm planning to hire voice actors or do some of the voice myself if I manage to speak more easily in English. Because I'm still trying to find my words sometime, and I think it could take away from the story I'm trying to tell. So be patient. I will try my best to work on it, and yeah, I hope to see you there.
absolutely. And having watched a couple of your videos, I think the AI voice works fine for what you have intended.
Yeah.
It's really your art, it's not like the typical. I know there's this big boogeyman of AI out there, but when
Mm,
you're using AI for something like a voiceover, to make it more
mm,
understandable to more people throughout the world versus something like using AI to completely make up a story. I mean, these are your stories, these are your
yeah,
pieces of art, right?
yeah.
So I think there is a big difference in that. So yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. I'll definitely, do a, kind of shout out to your channel. Make sure that people, subscribe, and I'll also put you up on the Discord. We'll create a channel in the Discord for your work, and I think that'd be awesome to get more support for what you're
That'd be
doing.
that would be amazing. I'll make sure to share in this channel some of the sketch of the current of the incoming new refloat I'm about to release. I'm currently working on the Swooping Hook refloat that look like biblically accurate archangels. And I'm working on a Banshee refloat with double tree scale slicing up in half noise marine from the top.
I
So
love
if
that.
you like that,
I love that,
come in.
man. Yeah. Destroyer of Slanesh. I love it, dude. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's great, man. All right. Well, Argonaus, thank you so much for joining us today. And just to everybody out there listening, the Kickstarter is still available. If you still want to be a part of it, to invest in it, you can still do so. There is a create your own night tier. So if you want to, create a data sheet for an Eldar night, you can. There's also, of course, the tier to get the codex itself, the physical copy, and for a lesser price, the digital copy as well. So any support would obviously be appreciated. And of course, the more we can raise, the better this codex can be. So definitely consider, supporting it if you're into this kind of thing. All right, Argonaus, thank you so much for joining us today. And is there anything you want to leave us out on?
Well, of course, I would like sincerely to thank you for the time you gave to my art. It's really important for me to be able to be seen. So this kind of video and project is very important for me. I hope I will be able to touch people with my art, and I really can't wait to start on this project. I already have some cool idea. I hope you'll like him. And yeah, I hope I just hope we will be able to start really soon. But I need to take a vacation before we start. And when
Of
I'm back
course.
from my vacation, let's start. Yeah,
Of course. Vacation, you need that time off for sure, man. So definitely
yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Definitely enjoy that.
Thank you,
All
thank
right,
you,
everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Argonaus, and
thank
have
you.
a good one. Peace out,
Bye
everybody.
bye.
See you later.